This video is closed captioned in English and Spanish subtitles. Hello travelers, welcome everybody. This is Anthony, also known as the Travel Droner. Here on this channel, we create videos discussing amazing travel facts and amazing destinations. In today's video, we are going to talk about the don'ts of the USA, what not to do in the USA as a tourist, the land of the opportunities, the United States of America. For the love of skyscrapers, beautiful monuments, to have a blend of all the luxuries, what is better than having a trip to the USA? Do you know that around 80 million people visit the US in the year 2019? If you also want to live a fantasy life for some time, you should definitely visit this country. While everyone would tell you what you should do in the country, we are here to tell you what not to do while you stay there, because this way you will get to have the best experience of your life. Before we begin, I want you to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon. This way, you'll be notified whenever a new video hits our channel, and you won't miss some of the most amazing tips that will save your vacations and make your stays even better. With that out of the way, here is what not to do in the USA as a tourist. Hold your cravings of puff. Smoking in public might not be a good idea in the United States of America. There are strict rules in the states which prohibit people from publicly smoking in a lot of public places. This is different from a lot of nations, so if your country allows you to smoke in public, you might want to hold the cravings to puff while you are in the United States. Other than that, there can be legal consequences if you violate the rules, which includes severe fines, so better go to your hotel room or some smoking areas if you don't want to get in trouble for just smoking. Be punctual. This might seem a bit of a stretch, but Americans tend to be very strict to be on time. They do not like to waste their time waiting for someone, as they are the firm believers of the quote, "time is money." You don't want to be late if you have a meeting scheduled with someone, and people can be really rude if you don't get there in time. It is considered to be rude to be late, and no one wants to be treated as unimportant. So, be strict to times and schedules if you want to win in their eyes, and if you are going to meet someone important, try to be a few minutes early. That is it. Be polite. This is not a hidden fact that Americans tend to be guns with short fuses. You do not know about the person you are interacting with, so you don't want to make rude comments to them, even if it is unintentional. You might have seen in the Hollywood movies where the people interact with each other in slang, which in real life is not a good option. You do not know how severe the slang might mean to the other person, so do not try to be cool if you try to use slang. Other than that, be generous and try not to ask personal questions. This might be a bad thing to do so. Hence, do try to avoid all things like that. Tip everyone. Giving tips in America is considered to be one of the most important things if you want to be treated well. So, if you want to be considered polite and you want to be good in terms with everyone who provides you with service, be it a taxi driver, a waiter in a restaurant, or even if you are in a bar, always try to stick to the iconic American phrase, "keep the change." Also, it is a good thing to tip the people a minimum of 15 to 20% of the bill for normal service, and if the waiter was outstanding, I would even give him 30% tip. But that is up to you, and it allows for a better mutual connection with the service that you take. In a country like the United States, the culture to tip the service providers has become a staple, and workers rely on it. Of course, exceptions can be made for those people who do not give quality service, and for someone who you didn't like in quality of work done, then you give him less. Ignore talking about sensitive topics. In a time like this, personal opinions can also lead to various problems. You should not talk to any locals about your opinions on what is going on, and never bring up politics or religion. Try to keep the conversation as neutral as possible, because we all can agree that things can be a bit messed up in America if you choose to touch sensitive topics. You do not want to be a part of such troubles, so make sure to put a halt on sensitive topics. Also, do not compare your country with America. This way you can hurt the feelings of other people, and it might not be good for you at all. Try not to touch people. It is clear that stalking is bad for any individual, as everyone enjoys their personal space. But you might also consider not touching people while in conversation after a handshake. Some people have a habit to hit someone while laughing, or put hands on others while convincing someone. Well, if you are one of them, then try to keep your hands to yourself, as Americans generally don't like to be touched unnecessarily. This might seem inappropriate in their eyes, and you can also face legal issues. Although, yes, I understand that many people believe touching is a way to communicate in a better way, in the eyes of general Americans, this might not be the correct option. Walking manners. If you are in a densely populated area like Times Square and more busy areas like that, you cannot stand still at all. The cities never sleep and they never stop. It always keeps on moving, and so should you. If you decide to have a closer look at the city, then you might want to walk through it on your own. If you do so, then don't be surprised to see massive hordes of people on the sidewalks you are walking in. Other than that, you should not stop while walking in a horde. This way, you'll be creating conditions of people banging into you, and you do not want to see that, especially in the day when everyone is in a hurry to get to their offices. They are in a rush. You don't want to have trouble while walking only, right? Driving. This one is especially for the people from the European and Asian sides. Americans drive on the right-hand side, and if you are planning on renting a car, then you should be aware of this. It is quite different from what you would expect. Sitting on the opposite side of the car is pretty much daunting, and it becomes more difficult in manual cars. Also, make sure to follow the speed limits. If you are on a highway, don't go over the limit, and certainly don't go below the limit either. You do not want to get in legal trouble, and the USA can be pretty serious in terms of punishments. If you are found guilty of doing anything wrong, it can get very expensive or even more severe when it comes to penalties. So make sure to ace your driving game. Metric system. For USA travelers, you won't find a single road sign that shows the distance in kilometers. The same goes for kilograms as well. You have to adapt to the pounds and miles system. The rides, that is, the cars that you are going to rent, will be based on the miles that you drive. And if you have to fill up with gas, that is, the petrol or diesel in gallons instead of liters. Finally, you'll have to accept the weights in terms of pounds and not kilograms. You should prepare beforehand to face such issues, as it is one of the most basic facts of American life. Try not to use the metric system, as you might be subject to confusion and calculate all wrong. If you go to America, you have to live the American way. Plan. You have to plan before you visit the United States of America. The country is bigger than the whole of Europe, and you cannot see the whole country in just one visit or drive from the West Coast to the East Coast, or you'll be spending your vacations on the road. So you must plan your trip accordingly for a region if you want to explore the South or any other region. Before you book the tickets, make sure to plan with your trip partners or family where they want to go, and you must plan accordingly. Also, make sure to book everything beforehand because there are so many tourists in the tourist area that everything is always almost full. You might not want to miss out, so make sure to book everything in advance. This way, you will also be able to manage your time and expenses in an efficient way. This allows you to know what to expect and make it so that you do not miss any of the plans that you originally had. This way, your trip will be one hell of a trip. Well, this marks the end of this video. We hope that you liked it. If you did, then make sure to hit the like button and show us your love in the comment section. If you want to stay up to date with similar travel content, then make sure to subscribe to our channel, as we are going to make your trips worth remembering. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one.